Hi, I'm Mr. Chambers and I'm the Director of ICT and e-learning, and this is a short video clip to talk to you a little bit about e-safety and cybercrime. So, as your son or daughter is making their way through Hatton, they may use different apps to communicate with parents, or they may use apps such as EduLink on their phone to actually help them know when their homework is and help them organize their time better. Now I want to talk about a couple of apps that can become a problem, and one of the first ones is WhatsApp. Now, what many of you won't know is that WhatsApp, the age limit on it is actually 16. With the age being 16, it's because the data is encrypted, and if anything happens on it, it's actually difficult to find out because the information is not backed up on a server anywhere should the police need to get hold of this. The next app is Snapchat. The biggest risk here is about shared content and people sharing each other's pictures and doing things without permission. And because people are sharing other people's pictures without permission, this is causing a lot of upset. So you need to be aware of this app. If they're not 13 yet, they shouldn't be using it. Instagram, there are issues where people can get in contact with people that are much older than them. So you've got to be aware of the grooming risks of that. Do you have your child's password to their Instagram account if they have it? Because many children have Instagram, and at the age in year 7, maybe they shouldn't have it just yet. Facebook, the biggest risk here is that being the age that they're not 13 yet, and quite often they can post pictures on there without locking down their account. And the biggest risk here is future employment, because employers often go onto Facebook to look for this. And a new app, which you can see a picture of here, which you need to be warned about, is called Azar. This is an app that allows you to scroll through random people's webcams around the world. So you could get anybody and your child could be talking to any predator. So if you see the app Azar on your phone or on your student's phone, I recommend that you remove this app. Now, what I want to talk to you a little bit about today is the rise in crime. What many of you may not realize is that cybercrime is becoming a big thing. Over 27 billion is lost a year. And as a result of this, the police have been working with us and talking to us so that we can warn you about cybercrime that's happening at home. So that's a lot of money if you look at that, 27 billion being basically committed on cybercrime and lost. So what is cybercrime? So sort of things that students might do that they don't realize is an issue is accessing stuff without permission, accessing stuff without permission and then maybe intending to do something bad, such as blackmailing somebody, or doing something bad and causing a lot of damage. So it could actually cause mass disruption, like people needing files when they're about to go into an exam, or helping somebody else do bad stuff by giving out their password. And if you use a computer to do any of the above, you are committing cybercrime, and the police want you to be aware of this. So the first area is accessing stuff without permission. So this is if you log onto their computer, phone, Facebook account, their Snapchat account, or you log into your own computer, but you access files from somebody else's computer or software that isn't there for you. So quite often people do this as a second-hand nature with their friends, thinking it's a giggle, but they're not aware that it's actually cybercrime, and this is where it can lead to other things. So the maximum punishment that you can get is possibly getting the police saying, you've done this, you need to stop it. There could be a £500 fine, £5,000, 6 months in prison, a year's imprisonment and a £5,000 fine, a 2-year imprisonment and a £5,000 fine. So it's not small stuff. So you need to be aware of it now so that they don't get into habits as they get older or go through the school. And the idea is that we're putting this guidance out here to help you so that it doesn't become an issue later on. So another area is accessing stuff without permission and planning on basically using it in some way. So you might intend to delete somebody's stuff. Quite often students find it funny to delete a friend's file or one thing or another. This can cause disruption to their lesson. Changing stuff. Making the software do something weird. So maybe you found a way of modifying the software. This is against the law. Quite often at home, students are doing this to kick their friends out of games. And this is just a stepping stone that can lead to other stuff. They might take over somebody's webcam. And like I said, kicking a best mate out of a game could be an issue as well. Or maybe they're going to transfer some money. So all of these are small steps, but they lead to bigger problems, such as hacking later on. So, maximum punishment for that one. You could have a year and have a £5,000 fine, 2 years, 3 years, 5, 7. So the worse it gets, the worse the punishment. So if you are actually deleting somebody's files and not just accessing their account without permission, that's when the crime tends to get a lot worse. So this is where you're doing a lot of the bad stuff. So this is where you did the stuff, you actually planted malware, so you deliberately gave somebody a virus, you've encrypted somebody else's data and used it to ransom them, or you've got personal stuff and blackmailed them, or again, booting them off an online game. These are things that students often think that are a joke, but the government and the police are saying that they're finding that students are starting at this point and then using the internet to research how to do even more bad stuff, and it's getting worse. Now, what the police are doing now is anybody under the age of 18, they are creating a log and keeping an eye on them until they're 18. So the student won't even know that they are being monitored once they've done this, but this is what the police are doing moving forward. So this is the other offence, so intentionally causing problems. So you could have damage to human welfare, so you've risked somebody's life, injured somebody, stopped people getting food, disrupted transport, you've messed around with the NHS, affected the economy, national security. Now, you might think this is funny, but actually, there are people as young as 11 or even a 7-year-old that have actually managed to get in and mess about with software around the world. I mean, an example of there was an 11-year-old that managed to bring down the PlayStation network one Christmas just by sending lots and lots of traffic. So they were causing problems by sending lots of internet traffic to the network, which caused it to go down. So many people think they're exempt, all right, but any of this, so even if you download a file that could cause some of these problems, you are at risk of getting in contact with the police, basically. Malware, just so you know what that is, it's malicious software. So if you make any of this or give somebody to download it, malware can cause a lot of problems. This is basically writing your own viruses. And sometimes students think it's funny to write their own batch files that can cause disruption. So you've got to be aware of this. So things for you to be aware of. So what I would do as a parent is, one piece of advice is I would always make sure that at night, before your child goes to bed, that you get them to leave the mobile phone in the living room or with you before they go to bed. That way they're not tempted to be on things, on apps. I'd also recommend that you actually check what apps they have on their phone regularly and see how they're using them. Many parents I know actually have their son or daughter's Facebook or Instagram account on their phone, so that when the messages come through, they come through on their phone and they can monitor what's going on. Have a look on their PC if they have a laptop or a PC in their bedroom, so that you can actually see what's on there and discuss them and the apps with them. I recommend having an open door policy. So if your child has a computer in their bedroom or a laptop, that you take the laptop when it's bedtime, or have the door open whenever they are on it. Make sure that they only have access to appropriate content. You can contact Sky anyone, whoever's your provider, and you can ask them to put filters on, or you can ask them how to add filters to your house. Speak to your provider about this and they'll be able to help you. If you have any concerns, report them to a teacher, or if you've got any questions, you can contact me and I'll give you some guidance. But above all, if your child is really concerned about stuff that they are seeing on the internet, or they're concerned at what their friends are doing, you can report COP. Now, this button is available on all of the internet safety websites, but it's also available on the front page of the Hatton website. If you have any more questions, feel free to contact me. Thanks for listening.